Hey guys, Disorder Magic here, and it's time to talk about MTG Arena. Now, I haven't been playing the beta, which is why I can legally make this video. They didn't give me priority access. In fact, I'm pretty sure they didn't even give me access. I haven't gotten any kind of email or nothing from them. So, that's going to change the tone of this whole video a little bit, but I'll be fair, just snarkier than normal. So I saw this article about Arena, and, they've been kind of tight-lipped while the beta's going on, and so has everybody else because of an NDA. So surprisingly, Chris Clay from the Magic Digital team, which I could have sworn was called the Magic Digital Next team, whatever, they could rename it Team Electric Kangaroo for all I care. Anyway, they posted an article explaining how the economy, as they put it, works in MTG Arena. I don't really consider it an economy unless it's like, RuneScape or so, like some MMO with like currency. But whatever, I think they meant that like the word economy was nicer than money, payments, income. Give us your money. And I mean, for real, companies usually shy away from talking about the money system in their freemium game in depth or at all, because it's just a reminder to everybody that's not a free game. You really want to like promote, the graphics, the gameplay, the fun, the community, and then just not mention the fact that money is involved. Also, companies do want to be like super vague when they talk about the money system so that people who are bad at math or just not willing to do the math aren't able to figure out what their playstyle and goals in the game will end up costing, just ballpark. And this is the beta though, so we're not even quite there yet in the first place. I still really don't know why they're talking about it. I guess because people are already like, this is going to cost a fortune. This is a Wizards product. So if that's the starting point, you almost can't get worse. So let's talk about money. I assume that's their strategy. So regardless, I don't think anybody's confused about Magic the Gathering products being about making money, and they've already made vague comments about it being pretty cheap compared to MTGO, so I guess money is a topic that they're not afraid to talk about. Do keep in mind, though, that I know from experience with similar projects that they'll have a way for whales, as they call them, to spend a lot of money if they so choose. I mean, you just can't not do that. I mean, the percentage of income at like freemium type games that come from high spenders is enormous. So you really don't want to restrict that and just say, nope, nobody can spend more than blah. So it obviously has to be open-ended. And they just don't want to lean on like each individual player making like a small purchase, because that doesn't always happen. I mean, some people are just adamant about playing for free, especially if they're like 12 or something. But that said, they did make comments about how they wanted the game to be realistically playable for free. So, I mean, they are throwing that out there. I do believe that in one of the video interviews, they said something almost word for word like, this will be playable for free. If you choose to play it for free, you can do that. Now, what kind of chance you'll have against other people, that's a whole different story, but they're not touching that. They're not touching matchmaking or rankings or any of that. Not one word about it. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's just because they're not done yet, even though I very much know how Magic Puzzle Quest goes. Let's just put it that way. So, okay, they said in the article itself, let's start by looking at the details of how the economy, collecting cards and rewards for playing, will work initially. Initially, you guys. Okay, that could have been phrased better, because honestly, that sounds like a trap. I mean, that's like drug dealer level language of trapitude. I mean, the first one's always free. This is how it's going to work initially. You guys can play it for free initially, but then once we've got you, we've got you. Okay, they didn't say that. That is an extrapolation on what they said. It's a dark possible future. One of many. It's one of many possibilities that the future could hold, you guys. Okay, anyway, it's just bad phrasing. I think what they really meant was, like, in the beta versus release time. In fact, they made other statements kind of alluding to that. So let's summarize the generic freemium game cliches that they added. There's gold and gems. Wow. How unique. I mean, come on, they couldn't even call it mana points or planar shards or, I got one for you, social justice coins. Everyone calls it gold and gems. What's the other one? Crystals. Every flipping game is gold, gems, and crystals. Like, what the hell? Come on, Wizards, at least try. You got 25 years of backstory and lore, and you couldn't come up with anything other than gold and gems, neither of which really even come up that much in the Magic storyline. Come on, guys. Hey, there's still time to rename it. There's the beta. Anything could change. Anything I'm complaining about, other people might complain about, and the team said they are open to comments. I assume they're just saying that, and that's complete and utter BS, but, whatever. So anyway, gold you get from winning games, completing quests, winning in-game events, just whatever. It's the in-game currency. And then, of course, gems are purchased with real money from the in-game store. Now, they do say that both of them can be used to unlock packs, events, and more. I believe that was the exact phrase that they made. I did take notes that I don't have the article up. But anyway, that already doesn't sound good. It sounds like a brick wall system to an extent. which is where you want to play the game, but the game decides that you've played enough, kind of like Destiny 2, and you've entered enough events, so now you can't do more unless you give us money, which is very aggravating. I mean, if you've been playing for like 2 hours, just like go do something else. I mean, come on, people, go get some exercise or go make some money. Like go rake the neighbor's leaves. There's something to do. Now, I think later they say this isn't true about the whole, oh, nope, you've played your free rounds for the day, screw you, which is a very mobile concept. But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure people right now know, but they're under an NDA, so I guess we won't know. And then still, everything's subject to change anyway, so I wouldn't even want to know. Also, it gets way worse. Okay, so you use gold to open booster packs and to enter events, it said. Why would you enter an event until your deck is good enough to participate in the event? And then how would you afford to enter the event if you spent all your gold on improving your deck by opening boosters and getting more cards? It's some kind of like catch-22 or like a paradox or something. I mean, I'm not sure I can handle the psychology of that. Like, oh, my deck is 70% towards the deck I want, and then I put in some filler cards. Okay, well, it's probably not good enough to participate in the event. Well, let's enter it anyway because I only have, 4 more entries worth of gold, and let's go play with this deck that I hate. That's not done and clearly not powerful enough. Or, okay, my deck's perfect, or it's as good as it's going to get because I spent all my gold, and now I can't enter anything. So, I don't know, maybe they'll have free events. I don't know, hard to say. It sounds like they're going to have, like, daily missions and quests and stuff that might be, like, free, and not just free, but you'll get gold from them. So I'm sure it's not quite as grim as I said, but it still seems like when you can spend on event entries and decks, you'll really want to do both. Hey guys, I think I have a solution to this though. It'll make the whole situation all better. You can open more packs to make a more powerful deck while simultaneously entering more events with your more powerful decks if you buy gems. Well, who would have thought that that's where we would have ended up? What a concept, you guys. Okay, I'm going like really hard on them right now, but they probably should have given me priority access, but I'm on their blacklist, so screw you. It's an online TCG. Of course, it's pay to win. Of course, you're going to get more out of it if you spend money. What the hell kind of game would it be if you didn't? Just know what you're getting into. At the end of the day, it does sound more lenient than MTGO's, buy the cards or lose policy. I mean, I don't know of a better way to describe it. That's what it is. Get all the decks you need to build the card or you will not win, period. Well, in fact, as it sits, it sounds like MTGO, except you can't trade for individual cards, which actually sounds awful. But I did hear like some rumblings and some rumors on social media and stuff that there's more to it than that, and I would suspect that there is. So don't worry, everybody. Just kidding. You probably should worry. In fact, let's take a little pause right here and cut the crap, okay? I'm not paying to build a deck in real life and MTGO and Arena. That is ridiculous. Now, of course, I personally don't use MTGO and never have, but you get the idea I'm going for. People really don't like building a deck for F&M and then having to buy the whole deck again on MTGO. If they're going to play Arena too, which I don't think is their target audience, but still, let's just say it's an F&M only person who won't touch MTGO, but they do want to play online. Okay, they jump on Arena. You still got to build your damn deck twice if you got a deck list. And I doubt it's going to cost like double, but then again, you can't trade for cards. Let's look at what they could have done, okay? They could have made Arena a platform so that I can redeem my local packs for a pack online, which is exactly what Pokemon does. Then build a deck in both places for around the same total price, and then play MTG in my underwear at 2 a.m. to keep me interested in the game outside of local play like F&M. Like, if everybody who shows up to my F&M is a bunch of dicks, but I want to keep playing, and then I'd have nowhere to play if I stopped showing up to, like, that one LGS in my area, which is obviously not my situation, then I'd have options, and I'd stay as a customer, and I wouldn't go play Hearthstone or Artifact, which is a new one that's coming out. Oh, Hex is getting pretty big, too. There's a couple others, so yeah, they got some competition. That would actually be more of like an indirect money-making strategy, but it's solid because it's maintaining customers is what it does. It works for Pokemon, and people are just thrilled to death with the way that works. And for those who don't live near a WPN play location, and you don't have like friends interested in MTG, whatever, you basically have to play online. They could pick, or that person in that scenario could pick either Arena or MTGO and play exclusively on just that by buying just digital packs, and that's it. And then the paper players would get to play both to keep them interested and make them happy and make them feel like they're getting more value out of their dollar and make them buy more packs at local places and make them not buy singles, because if you buy singles, you wouldn't get the code cards. There's a darn good reason people have been asking for a system like that. One, because like I kept saying, Pokemon does that exactly word for word. And two, it frickin' works and everybody wants it. I mean, that is the proven to be working ideal strategy according to the Pokemon Company International. This has much more of a feel of, hey, look, spend your money on a third product now. I mean, that's it. There's nothing more to it the way I see it. That is a completely idiotic strategy given customer satisfaction level with the MTG products and the wonderful company behind it. Not to mention the existing cost of playing the game as it is, and the fact that every year they add more and more and more and more and more product releases. So just, hey, spend money on this, it's a new thing. It's like coming out with 3 master sets in a year instead of 2 now. I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't think that people see it like duels, which is, oh, here's a gateway to bring video game players into our card game, which is, pretty much what that was, self-admittedly, by the company. The only things I've heard to the contrary are allegedly you can play for free, which is not remotely true with MTGO at all, and they're planning on handing out codes where if you attended a pre-release or PPTQ or Store Championship or possibly even just F&M, you'll get some kind of code card thing to get a free item, free booster, free cards, whatever, in Arena. So that's nice to have that crossover. That's just like, I mean, it's brilliant because, I mean, I'd play Arena for free plus get free stuff for what I'm already doing. And it would take people who wouldn't normally play Paper Magic, who, they know that there's people who play F&M in their area, but they just play Arena. And then they keep getting told in Arena, hey, if you were to go to a paper event, you get free stuff in Arena, and then suddenly, ta-da, LGSs get more attendance and more income. And even people that were on the fence were like, oh, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. Do I really want to stay up for the pre-release? Now they're like, I play Arena all the time, and I don't want to miss out on this one-of-a-kind chance to get this. Now that is smart, so they better stick to that. And of course, it all goes to crap when you realize what happened to Pokemon, which is you could just buy the code cards on eBay. And I mean, honestly, imagine it. You go to a pre-release and then half the people are like, yeah, I play Arena, cool, code cards. And then the other half are like, I don't play Arena. Anybody want my free code card? Well, and then I guess if you limit it to people only redeeming one... But there's a bunch of sketchy fake LGSs that are fake WPN locations that don't ever hold F&M. They just sell the promos and sell all the cards. Well, they'll hold a fake pre-release and they'll sell the promos that come with it. So yeah, not a flawless system, but at the end of the day, if you go to F&M or you go to a pre-release or whatever, then you'll get a free item and then yay you. So it works for you. It's just if somebody missed the pre-release, they could just go on eBay and get the card for like $2. Okay, so mini rant about this product over. Let's just jump back in their description of the economy. Okay, so they say gems will be available to purchase for players who want to bypass earning gold to speed up gameplay. That is their exact quote. Okay, so impatient people can pay more money, right? Except you open packs with gold and gems. So in other words, you want a better deck? Like that's what you're waiting for? You want a better deck? Pay more. And okay, that's Paper Magic too, but like I said, I don't want to pay to win on 2 platforms and buy my decks on 2 platforms. I already bought the deck once. So I don't really get the whole, bypass earning gold and speed up gameplay. They mean build the deck you actually want. It's not really speed, it's build the deck you actually want. There's really no other way to say it. No, if it's like, you can enter so many events per day for free, and then after that you got to pay a couple gold or a couple gems, and you're like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. Okay, that is pretty much just impatience. Now, they do try to cover it up by saying, we anticipate offering some cosmetic items in-game that can be purchased with gems. Oh boy, so it's not pay to win, except it still is. Now this is on top of it. There won't be any gameplay content that can only be unlocked with real money. Now, that statement's a bit odd. Everybody's like, oh, wonderful, yay, so I won't, not have access to something, even cosmetic. I mean, I guess you can put a gold price on some cosmetic card sleeves for a deck or whatever, because who would ever drop gold on that instead of more boosters? Or more event entries. I mean, so effectively, it's really just the real money paying customers only. I mean, nobody would be like, I could enter 10 more events, or I could get this cool cosmetic thing. Not if it's in-game earned gold. I mean, not if you're trying to play for free. You're already behind people. I'm really not liking these nice sounding statements that are trying to hide the true nature of the game, but whatever, PR, image, I get it. Now, they really do want to make it clear that this isn't MTGO, so they say there are a few basic ways you can get cards in booster packs, draft packs, individual card rewards, wild cards, and the vault. I mean, the last 2 sound interesting. This whole thing, it just sounds a little bit more elaborate and just perhaps even more exciting, more interesting than what it is now for paper, which is just open booster, get cards. Or a misprinted, miscut, curling, barely playable excuse for a card, I guess, if I wanted to be really specific. Get this. Okay, so they say booster packs will contain 8 cards Yeah, you heard that correctly. 5 commons, 2 uncommons, and 1 rare or mythic. Let's do the math on that later, perhaps, to see if that makes individual uncommons rarer than rares, because I think it does. Anyway, draft packs will contain 14 cards, because they have to. Only the basic land is removed. Wait, I'm reading their state. Actually, the token's gone too. I don't know. Whatever. They do state that if you pick a card in a draft, it goes to your collection. Keep in mind, there's no trading with other players in this game. Oh, we've got a bit of a situation. I'm sure most of you very smart A+ students already figured this out. Let me spell it out for you. So you really need a particular green mythic, we'll say Majestic Mirror Arc, and you're 2 packs into a draft where you're running white-blue, okay? And the green mythic, the Majestic Mirror Arc, shows up. You can either continue to not have that mythic, or you can sabotage your current draft deck by drawing a card you absolutely do not need in that draft. You're probably going to lose the tournament because of it. I mean, it's 1 card. But still, let's say there was like a killer, just perfect blue or white card sitting right next to it, and now you've got a choice. On MTGO, it's like, oh, I'll just buy the card later. Who cares? In fact, if you needed it, you probably already bought it. In this game, it's a lot of random chance and loot box mechanics to get the cards you want. So, oh boy. From everything I know mathematically about how the game works, you would really be obligated to pull the card that you need, which is a real shame because then you're probably going to lose. I mean, the card that you need outside the draft. What a wonderful situation, though. But if they did allow trading with other players, it would be a completely different software product. I mean, basically it would just be MTGO 2.0 Flashy Edition. Oh, with achievements and quests and missions. Woo, I mean, whatever. And then you'd have 3 values for singles. I don't know if you've checked on MTG Goldfish lately, but you look it up and they're like, here's how many tickets it costs in MTGO, and here's its approximate price in paper. And then you'd have a third one. Oh, here's its arena price. So yeah, nobody wants them. Nobody at the end of the day really wants them to be tradable on 3 platforms, and honestly, I don't think they should do that. I think that they are going the correct way. But taking MTG Puzzle Quest as an example, because that is probably the closest we're going to get to Arena right now, you open packs until you get the cards you need, the end. That's it. If you're into building specific decks based on limitless theoretical pools of cards, then acquiring those cards, that's not the game for you. But since nobody can do that, I mean, if you just wanted 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, which I think in that game it's limited to 3, I don't remember, it's a level playing field because, like, nobody's deck is perfect. So, also, that game's, like, phases in combat function completely differently than, like, MTG. So it's not, like, a 1-to-1 ratio. But the powerful cards are powerful. They're very similar to their, counterparts in real Magic, and it's not that far away, but it is actually really fun. I mean, you never feel like, man, I wish I could build the perfect deck. Nobody can build the perfect deck. It would take like $1,000 to build the perfect deck. I know they gave me $5,000 in free credit. It was later wiped out by a glitch, which is why I don't play it anymore. I was really happy about that. But I still didn't have enough copies of every card. I think maybe only 1 copy of a card went into a deck in that game. It's been a while, actually. But yeah, for real, it was quite fun to play that game, even though it was very different than Constructed Standard, you know? And full disclosure, obviously, they sponsored my channel in the past with more than just free credit, let's put it that way. But still, I played the game even before I was sponsored. It was really fun. I really liked it. Also, you legitimately can play it for free. I mean, just don't try to compete with top-tier people. It's really that simple. It's still fun at the low levels. I mean, it's the way Magic should be. You gradually improve your deck over time instead of just, I'm buying the best deck. So maybe Arena will kind of have that vibe. I mean, who knows? We'll just see when it's released. It's hard to speculate, but I'm gonna anyway. In fact, that's this whole video. Anyway, the third thing that they mentioned for getting Arena cards is individual cards. They're earnable through play. They say that they're testing a system where every match win gets you a single, like, randomized card, I guess, up to 30 per day. Kind of reminds me of Ante, honestly, doesn't it? You know, except you're not literally winning the other person's cards. But it totally kind of has that vibe, which is kind of funny. I mean, it reminds me of Chalandalier. I don't remember the name of that damn game. That sounds cool, except that the best players get better and better, and the weaker players cannot dig themselves out of the hole they're in without money. I mean, think about it. If you can't win, you can't win. It's really pretty basic. So you're basically screwed if you start Arena a year from now, because everybody will have like a nearly complete card collection. So they're able to build far superior decks to you, and you can't win events to get more gold and singles, etc. I hate games like that. The only thing that can solve this is pairing people with similar win-loss records and similar, I guess you would say, like deck power levels or whatever, against each other instead of doing it full random. Puzzle Quest kind of did that. StarCraft 2 kind of does that with like Bronze League, Silver League, Gold League, where if you win, you get moved up into a league where people are allegedly at your skill level, and eventually you'll settle into however good you are. So let's flip this around. Instead of you can never dig yourself out of the hole because you get paired up against somebody who spent, $1,000 on the game. Let's say you're the person who just, spent a little bit of money, you got some better cards, you built a better deck, you start winning, and ta-da, the goal line just moved. Because now you're playing against people with equally upgraded decks. It's like you can never get anywhere, but then that's kind of nice because, then you can't just pay to win. Like you'll have a better deck if you don't like playing with low power decks, but your opponents will too. So hopefully they implement a system like that. Now what I kind of fear is basically it'll devolve into spend money until you have 4 of every card, and then after that may the best man win. So then everybody just competes in the top tier or whatever, and if you don't, screw you, you don't have a chance. Like take your last deck, remove all the mythics from it, and then try to build that into a working deck. Good luck with that. I think maybe the new tagline should be Arena Welcome to Hell. I mean, you guys know I'm all about deck building, and if I can't build a precise exact deck with exactly down to the last card what I need, that just sounds terrible to me. But then again, I've played Puzzle Quest where you never get the cards you need, and it was still extremely fun. So it could go either way. Okay, so the fourth method on the list is wild cards. There are special cards that have a chance to appear in the place of another card at any rarity level in every booster you open. Wild cards have their own rarity of, common, uncommon, rare, and mythic, and then you could redeem a wild card 1-to-1 for a card of that same rarity of your choice. Oh, thank God. This single-handedly makes the product 10 times better. But since this is one giant pessimistic worst-case scenario parade, let's downside this one too. You really should have just given me priority access to the beta, because now I'm just assuming the worst. But here we go. Okay, so maybe you really need a 4th copy of Majestic Mirror, because that card is amazing. So they tweak the odds, and now suddenly they know you have 3, they're in a deck. Now it's 5 times harder to get a mythic wild card. They lowered the odds without telling you. I did not see any assurance that they will not do that, and other companies already do this. Just because something looks random, don't assume it is unless a federal gambling authority enforces the odds. That's the golden rule of free games and loot boxes in general. Still, this does seem nice. It's an express path to like getting the cards you actually want. The game needed that because nobody's just gonna spam open boosters until they have everything. I think with Rivals it would take something like 7 or 8 booster boxes to get 4 of every card. Actually, no, I think it was like 9. It's a lot. But either way, yeah, I think the game needed it. So let's hear about the vault. The 5th method is the vault. I'm gonna read what they wrote because let's just read what they wrote. The vault adds yet another layer of excitement to booster opening. Woo! Every time you open a booster, you earn progress, if I can read today, towards unlocking the vault. When you would collect a 5th copy or more of a card, you earned vault progress instead of adding that card to your collection. Okay, here's a question. What if I need 8 of a card to build 2 decks? I guess if it's in your collection, it can be in a deck, and that's that. Like, you don't literally need 8 of them, you just need 4, and then you could put them in 2 different decks. Or maybe you're limited to 1 deck. Wouldn't that suck? Okay, nobody participating in the beta can answer that, by the way, because of the non-disclosure agreement, so I guess we'll all just find out later. Seriously, do not comment it down below. Wizards takes this crap really seriously. They will find you if you leak data like this. So I don't want to know the answer, and I don't want you to get in trouble, so don't even think about it. Anyway, they say they're testing what kind of rewards you'll get when you fill up the vault opening meter and then open the vault. They say they're starting with wildcards, which sounds appropriate. And then they will, quote, likely change the exact mix over time and during testing to get the balance correct and keep things exciting. In other words, they don't want to make it too easy or inexpensive to get the ideal card collection to build decks. But I think between, boosters and the vault and the wild cards and whatever, like, you could maybe get 4 of every card in Rivals for like $100 to $300 maybe. I mean, that's just an absolute ballpark guess, because that the packs are going to be cheaper online than they are in person. They've already basically said that. And some people are going to do it. All the try-hard net deckers are going to be like, oh, instead of spending $1,000 in real life on a modern deck, I could just spend $200 in the game and get 4 of every single card. And then they could build anything. They could build a tournament-grade deck, and I really hope I don't go up against those people then, because it's just outright pay to win. And once again, Magic is pay to win. I get it, but then I got to go back to my old staple. I don't want to build the deck twice on 2 different platforms and pay for it twice. So overall, I mean, it does sound like, it sounds fair and playable as long as there are like cheapo freebie players like me and I don't have to play against the pay-to-win douchebags. So, I play sealed, I play draft. I'm used to taking just one giant pile of crap that you call a card pool and turning it into something vaguely playable. So as long as my opponents are in the same boat, that's fine. Honestly, that sounds like more fun than unrestricted constructed, because if I wanted to do that, I would just go to MTGO, and they are making this different on purpose. But if the game devolves into just spend money until you open enough packs to have 4 of everything, and then it's basically just full-blown constructed, and anything short of that means you don't have a chance in hell of winning anything, that sounds pretty terrible. Time will tell what they actually do, but I wanted to give everyone the pros and cons of different scenarios that could happen. I'm not saying any of this will happen, or that I have any evidence. It's just, this is it. Of course, I'd already know the answer to some of these questions if they gave me beta access, but then, it's a catch-22. I couldn't talk about it in that case, so whatever. Also, keep in mind, people, the overall message from this article and everything I've ever seen from the development team is they are testing all of this, and if everybody's mad about something and they get really bad feedback about something, they can change it. That's the point of beta testing. In fact, that's specifically the point of a closed beta where nobody can talk about it. And they probably will make it, fair and enjoyable, because if they don't, the entire product will fail, and they put a lot of money into this project. People have 2 other places to leave to if they want to leave Arena, Paper and MTGO. So they have to tread really carefully with this one and not screw it up. Then again, so did EA with Battlefield 2 and Bungie with Destiny 2, because their fans already hated them, pretty much parallel to Wizards, and licensing and developing costs for like making the game, paying the programmers, buying the artwork, design, and, the license for Star Wars. They were all really high with both cases, but they, kind of turned them into greedy, money-grubbing disasters. EA actually lost $3 billion in stock value on their multi-million-dollar game project, which is funny, the scale of that. I make fun of companies that write off losses of customer goodwill, or whatever, as an expense on their taxes, or devaluation or whatever on their balance sheet. But, sometimes you get a Bungie or an EA. I mean, yeah, they're publicly traded, so loss of customer goodwill equals actual lost revenue, but still. I legitimately thought this article ended here after they explained this, but it actually keeps going after the artwork, so let's just blitz through the rest of this. They're testing the system they just described with the release of Rivals on January 18th, which I just realized already happened. All right. The economy will include gold, wildcards, and the vault, and win progressions with gems and pricing will come later. This is interesting. They said the price of real packs in real world money is yet to be determined, which is why it's not in the game yet, but it will not be tied to the real world booster pack prices. That's good, because $3.99 is so not going to happen. Oh, good. The next section is design philosophies. Okay, there's so much wrong with that title. I'll just summarize it with, there's what the designers of the game want to make a fun game. There's what the customers want, which is to not pay much money. And then there's what Hasbro's accountants want, which are not necessarily the same things. That said, let's just read what they say about it. Core principles. The structure was designed with 3 principles in mind. Let's start with the first principle of MTG Arena's economy. Make our players' valuable time as fun as possible. My time is worthless. Every free-to-play game uses time as its basic currency. Not every. especially TCGs. Too often, however, that time is designed to be a grind. That's true. You either pay or grind to skip it. I mean, there are a lot of games like that. An obstacle players have to push through to get value out of the game. We wanted players to truly enjoy their playtime and looking forward to coming back again. Oh, that's why they put in cute sound effects and explosions. Oh boy, we designed the game and the economy to deliver that, which that sounds peachy, but then again, Hasbro. I could literally see an email, it says on the from line, Hasbro, and then the body of the email just says, make more money. Or they say front load rewards. In closed beta, we're trying out a daily session where most of the rewards come from the first hour or two. That's kind of nice, yeah. While you can always play as long as you like. So, I mean, that does contradict what they were kind of saying earlier, but I have a feeling that it's not just like tickets, enter, event, period. Run out of tickets, that's it. But they might just be assuming you just have basically a lot of gold. I don't know. We wanted to make sure that even people with limited time can have fun and feel like they're being rewarded. For example, we're testing a system where the first win of the day gives you your biggest single game gold reward. So in other words, Pokemon Go. That still sounds nice, though. They say daily ... or not. Oh, God. The word daily on freemium mobile games. Just don't even get me started. Playing every day is a great way to keep MTG Arena fresh and fun. No, it isn't. Playing like every other day would, whatever. All while maximizing rewards. Each day brings a new quest that varies in difficulty and reward. That's kind of neat. And each day you can cycle out one quest for another. Oh, so if you're like, there's no way in hell I'm going to beat a gold level dungeon or whatever. Okay, cool. Play every day to maximize your first wins, or play a couple times a week to save up quests. Oh, so you can queue them up. So it's not just like, oh, I hope you weren't doing anything today on a holiday or like a common vacation day. Oh, God. Since quests don't always require wins, they are a great way to earn gold just for playing. And actually, there was another game I played online that was just like that. You didn't have to get to the bottom floor of the dungeon to get the prizes. You just had to like not die, and then you could just choose to quit if you're low on health or something. It was actually kind of neat. And the third tier here, when you want to play more, of course, sometimes you just want to keep playing, and we wanted to make sure we supported that too. So we're testing out a system of rewards based on total wins in a week. That's kind of neat, actually. As you win 2, 5, and 10 games over the course of a week, you can earn wild cards. Oh, nice. May I interject for a second? Except you won't win games without wild cards because your deck will suck. Resuming. Stack this with a couple daily quests and individual card rewards, and you'll have an amazing 3 or 4 hour session set up. So that actually is pretty flexible and pretty clever. I do like the way that all of this sounds. I mean, the people that work on this project really know what they're doing. I know some of their backgrounds. I saw them make comments on social media and on YouTube and stuff. It's a good team. They are not going to make this a disaster. Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro will be responsible for making it a disaster if it is one. So let me just separate that for you. Now that you know your playtime will be well spent, unless you keep losing, let me just interject that. Let's talk about the second principle of MTG Arena's economy. Players need a variety of cards to have the most fun, so reward them with as many as possible. So maybe they're kind of leading towards like everybody has every card in the pool and can build anything system. You got to do one or the other. You can't do it in the middle because some people go a little bit further, spend a little bit more, and then build in that deck, basically. One of Magic's unique strengths is its depth, and that depth comes directly from the vast variety of cards we create each year. The countless combinations this provides have let designers and players alike create rules variants, and I guess, and even entirely new games. Like, how would that work with Arena? Anyway, we want to make sure players have lots of cards so that we can take advantage of the breadth as this game grows. What? I don't think they're going to be implementing my newly invented format called Giant Leaders, guys. It's literally the opposite of Tiny Leaders, where everything has to cost 4 or more mana. Look it up. It's the best format ever made. I don't see how me making up a new format is going to jump into this, and I believe they already said that they're not going to have Modern and Commander in Arena. And Commander was created by the users, by the player base. So that statement makes no sense to me. Anyway, they go on to a bunch of bullet points. Don't know what they're about. Let's read them. Cards on wins. We're currently testing a system that gives you a card on every win up to your 30th win each day. Each card has a chance of being any card in standard at any rarity. Oh, cool. Boosters per week. Boosters are classic magic. I almost said modern. Nobody opens boosters for Modern. Boosters are classic Magic. In closed beta, we're testing rewarding players with the opportunity to earn 3 to 4 boosters a week. Holy crap, that won't build you a damn thing. Depending upon how you want to play, this could be a booster every couple days, or a couple boosters in one super day of play. Let me translate that for you. Depending upon how much you want to pay, this could be a booster every couple days if you keep winning, or no, if you keep losing, or a couple boosters in one super day of play, because you paid to win, you douchebag. That's my take on what they just said. Keeper draft. You add all the cards you draft to your collection in MTG Arena. I think people are going to start nicknaming it that, where you have no chance in hell of winning the actual draft. You're just grabbing a metric buttload of cards you need. You just gave up on the draft and you're like, let's just grab 30 cards I need because God knows I'm not getting enough free boosters per week. You know what I want to know? How do you get to 60 cards in the first place? If you can't win them, you can't participate in events with those 60 card deck, where does the 60 card deck come from? So to make this very, very clear that it's different than MTGO, although I think they changed this on MTGO too. To enter, you use currency instead of boosters in your inventory. And the rewards for winning... add the rewards for winning to that, and you have one of the best ways to earn cards in the game. Okay, you're either going to pull the cards you actually want for constructed, or you're going to win the draft. It's not going to be both. So to call that one of the best ways to earn cards in the game, yeah... as long as you don't do what they said and add the rewards for winning, because you won't. The next section is, where's the dust? What? If we had used a traditional dusting system, the hell does that even mean? It would have limited our ability to be as generous with card rewards. I have literally no idea what that means. In addition, we simply didn't want players to need to constantly evaluate what to destroy. We wanted a path for players to complete their collection. I have no idea what that paragraph means. If anybody knows what any word inside of that statement means, please share it with me. What the hell is dusting? Okay, in closing, they say, while it's great to collect many cards, it's clearly better to collect the cards you want. That's where our third principle comes in. Make sure players can get the specific cards they want. So... it does sound like that. There's like 4 ways or 3 ways or something to like dial in exactly what you want, so that's cool. In tabletop Magic, players can collect certain cards by trading for them. We discussed trading at length and concluded that for digital, we could create a better experience if we gave players a different way to collect the cards they want. And that is not in itself true, but what they didn't want is a second clone of MTGO, because that's basically what it would be. So they said, this is where we believe wild cards in the vault make it easier to collect the specific cards you want, because you'll receive regular opportunities to receive wild cards or crack open the vault. Collecting specific cards will become much more attainable. So that is kind of cool. We also want to make sure that you get the wild cards you need over time. So we're testing out a pseudo-random system that increases your chances to open a wild card of a given rarity every time you don't open one. Ooh, a progressive system. That would be nice. Kind of implies that the code exists to change it, though, so if they know you want a last copy of a Mythic, they could just never give you a Mythic wildcard, so it goes both ways, but they are assuring us they will not do that from a philosophical standpoint. Unless they say it word for word, just assume it's rigged. Okay, on to the testing. Woo, that's a lot. Now we need your help to test it. Not mine specifically, apparently, Wizards, or you would have sent me an invite. None of these ideas are set in stone. In fact, we are waiting to add gems to the game because we want to make the free-to-play side of things fun first. That's actually smart. Your play and feedback in Rivals of Ixalan update in the Rivals of Ixalan update to the closed beta. Oh, so this is all about it. They're describing an update. I don't know. I don't play it. I have no idea. It will help us shape the rest of the economy. For more questions, check out the FAQ. Blah, blah, blah. Go to this website. Whatever. They literally said, so head to mtgarena.com and sign up now. I did. You didn't send me nothing. Anyway, that's like every detail about how this is going to work. I know everybody was super curious about it, so I wanted to cover it in detail and compare it to other games just like this, because I've played a lot of games like this. I've even helped design other games like this. So what do you think? Will it be good? Will it be terrible? Will it be somewhere in the middle? I'm leaning towards somewhere in the middle, but I think it's just going to devolve into, okay, the people who take the game really seriously are going to just drop $100 on day one after the release, like they kind of would for Constructed to an extent in paper, and then just build whatever the hell they want. Those will be the premium players who always win. And then you'll have the freebie people who are trying to play completely for free, and they're in a class of their own, and they basically never win. Because it sounds like, I mean, if you get like wild cards from opening boosters, just pay to open more boosters until you literally have every card. I mean, it sounds really, really, really doable. They've assured us that getting the cards you want is doable. So if people just spend their money to get to it, the only saving grace of this game will be if they don't pair me up against those people in some kind of competition. I mean, honestly, that's just what it is. So if they do, all the free people will quit the game, which, I mean, why would they care then? Look, if you're not giving them money, get the hell out. I mean, right? You're not even technically a customer at that point. So realistically, my best guess is it will turn into that. So don't get too excited about Arena is what I'm saying. I left the worst part for last, okay? This is something you guys might not be considering. You're a viewer of the Desolator Magic channel, so chances are you're probably not a net decking douchebag. You're not a pro player, and you're not a pro wannabe. You don't constantly show up to F&M with just the #1 deck in your own mind and in the tournament results, and who cares how much it costs. That's probably not you if you're a fan of this channel. Building a creative fun deck and crushing people with it for $18 is probably more my community at this point, because that's what I do and that's what I constantly upload. If you want to build a $400 deck on MTGO or in paper, you gotta have about $400. If you want to build an $18 deck, you better have about $18. And honestly, you could probably just bum the cards off your friends, because they're just bulk. If you want to build the $400 deck in Arena, you have to open boosters or get wild cards or just whatever, money or play, until you get 4 of the card you need. That is like a $30 mythic. If you want to build my $18 deck because it looks fun and it's really powerful, you have to open the exact same amount of boosters, spend the same amount of money, and the same amount of gameplay, same amount of in-game currency, whatever, to get 4 of this really cheap mythic or rare. All the cards in a rarity pool are equal. Their real-world price has nothing to do with Arena. Does that sound like a little bit of a problem to anybody? You want to build a cheap deck? There is no cheap deck. Because you have equal odds of pulling any given rare, any given mythic. Doesn't matter whether you need a 50-cent mythic or a $50 mythic, they have the same chance of being pulled. Well, you have a wild card, and then you select whichever one you want. Either way, it's going to take the same amount of luck and currency and boosters. That is massively messed up. So now that you're all thoroughly disappointed after realizing that, I'll see you guys next video.